Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant and I make you laugh. And sometimes what I do is I tell stories that torture myself for your entertainment. So, I've done many videos about how bad I was trying to talk to random women when I was single. It's one reason I'm so happy I'm married. But here's the thing, I wasn't just bad at, approaching them to talk to them. It wasn't any better when they came to talk to me first. It's just the way I am. I'm introverted, I'm awkward. If I'm not comfortable with somebody, it's hard for me to think of something good to say. And if I try too hard to think of something to say, usually something very, very awkward comes out. I'm going to give you a few examples. First one we'll go back to, I was in my early 20s. I was doing an open mic night at a little coffee house that did stand-up sometimes. And I get off the stage. I do that because it was basically a step. I go and order myself a drink, and a girl approaches me. Now, I'm going to get into a little disclaimer. Some of you are stand-up comedy fans. You're going to hear this and go, this sounds familiar. I swear this happened to me. There is a comedian that has a very, very similar story, which I heard a few years after this. And it's crazy, but it is just a coincidence. I doubt he took it from me, because I doubt he ever saw me. I never saw him. Again, just a coincidence. But our stories do differ a bit. I'm sitting there. I'm drinking the little coffee thing I ordered. And she comes up, and she's like,
"Hey, you were really funny up there."
"Thank you." Because that's how I am. Not just when a pretty girl would come to talk to me. That would make it worse. But that's how I am. If a random person says something to me, I don't have quick answers. Even when people I wasn't attracted to, guys or women that I could tell were there with their husbands, would come up and say something like that. All I had was, "Thank you." But in this case, she's standing there. She obviously wants to talk to me. I want to talk to her. So I'm trying to force myself to come up with something. And this is what comes out. "So, where do you live?"
No!
Yeah. The second it came out of my mouth, my head did that. The second it came out of my mouth, I wished I could have grabbed it and put it back in. Because I instantly realized that sounds very, very creepy. It's not what I meant to say, but my brain does that to me. I have a hard time expressing myself with words because I constantly want to say something, but my brain comes in and goes, "No, here, say this instead." Now you figure this is an easy fix. You just tell her what you meant, which would simply be, "Oh, I don't mean like your physical address. I mean like, are you from around here?" And that might have saved it, but not for me. No, I would go into panic mode and make it worse. Instead of just simply explaining what I meant was, "Are you from around here?" What ends up coming out of my stupid mouth is, I don't mean that. I don't mean like where you live, like your address or anything. I'm not gonna stalk you, okay? I wouldn't stalk you. Trust me. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with you, nothing, anything like that. I just don't stalk people. Stalking people is wrong. You shouldn't do that. I mean, if I was gonna make an exception, sure, you. I'm gonna go home now in hopes that you won't think I'm following you in the parking lot. That's how I was with random girls. I couldn't meet girls that way. For me to talk to girls, I had to go the approach of be in a situation where I know them and have to interact with them once in a while and get comfortable enough to spark conversation. If I try to do random conversation, that's what comes out. Another time, we gotta rewind about a year or two before this. I'm out with my cousin. He wanted me to meet his friends. I wish I didn't, because I didn't like them. And we're at a Denny's of all places, and they notice me looking at our server. Not in a perverted way, just looking at her because she was very cute. But I wasn't going to do anything. I always made that a rule. I'm not going to hit on a girl that's working, because that puts her in an awkward position, especially a server. She doesn't want to be mean to me, but she also doesn't want to lose my tip. So I was just going to let it go. And then one of his stupid friends finally had to say,
Hey, sweetie, my friend here thinks you're cute. Can he have your number?
and before she could say anything, I interjected. Please ignore him. He's an idiot. I'm not hitting on you, I swear. I understand you're just doing your job. I apologize. The meal ends, we pay. They're leaving. I had to go use the bathroom first. I come out. I was just gonna walk out and probably never see her again, but she had to come up to me and say,
Hey, don't be embarrassed by your friends.
that guy was not my friend. He's an idiot.
Well, it's okay. I took it as a compliment.
Oh. I mean, he's right. I think you're cute. I just don't want to hit on a girl while she's working. But, I mean, on that note, do you think,
I'm sorry. I did take it as a compliment, and I still do. But, I'm actually a lesbian.
Oh.
Does that bother you?
Me? No. I just didn't know what to say to that. Congratulations?
Just for a second, I thought you were judging me.
No judgment. I love lesbians. Instantly, I hear that and I'm like, that probably sounded perverted. But instead of just letting it go and excusing myself, no, I gotta try and fix it again. I mean, not in a perverted sense. Not like, I love watching lesbians do lesbian. I just, in general, they're really cool. Good ladies. I mean, not that I would be opposed. No, I'm just saying. It's good for you. I get why you like women. I like women a lot. I just. Have a good day. I never know what to say. The last one I'm going to tell you about comes a lot earlier than that. I was about 15 years old. There was a community pool. It was summer. My friends and my brother and I were there, having fun, swimming. I waited in line to use the diving board. And even though they had explicit rules against it, I didn't care. I was a rebel. I'm still a rebel. You know how much of a rebel I am? I don't stir my yogurt. I just start eating, and the fruit of the bottom I consider my reward for getting through it. But in this particular instance, I didn't care what anybody said. I knew I could do it, and I wanted to. To the diving board. They had explicit rules, no running on the diving board, and only dives we were allowed to do were like cannonballs or front dives. I ran over and did a backflip. I know some of you are looking at me going like, BS, screw you. I could do a backflip off a diving board. I did it many times. Could I do it now? No. That was almost 30 years ago with a back that wasn't damaged yet. But at the time, yes, I could. And I did. And because of it, the lifeguard punished me by making me get out of the pool for 5 minutes. Basically put me on timeout. I didn't care. I was a stud now. A girl came over to me while I was on my timeout and said,
Hey, that was cool.
Huh?
The backflip. I liked it.
Oh, thanks. Now, let me give you another little backstory. At the time at 15, at my home, we had a pool. Not like one of those little above ground doughboys. We had like a pool. My parents had been buying this house. We wouldn't have it much longer than this, but they had bought this house. It had a pool in the backyard. It was awesome. The reason we were using this community pool is because we had to have our pool cleaned out, and somehow we had gotten a free voucher to go to the community pool. That's why we were there. But this triggered something. I was like, hey, I can tell her this and invite her. And I did. I was like, so we have our own pool at my home. It's just being cleaned out right now.
Cool.
Yeah, so, normally we can go swimming whenever we want, and maybe you can come by sometime. Bring your swimsuit. And instantly it goes off in my head. Did that sound creepy? Because inviting her by sometimes, sure, but the swimsuit, I would imagine she's going to bring it if she comes swimming. I don't even know why I said that. That was like a perpetual thing with me. is I would constantly come off creepy, never intending to. The things I said, they were actually usually innocent. They just came out not innocent. And she stares at me like,
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, I didn't mean it to sound creepy. I mean, obviously, if you came swimming, bring your suit. I mean, or whatever you want. I don't care. Bring, shorts and a shirt. I don't care. We don't have a dress code.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll see you around.
My best friend was there talking to me at the time, so, I didn't live that down for a long time. So there you have it. That's my story of this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. If any of you had problems talking to girls, make me feel better. Love you guys.